Good morning, everyone. Today we will talk about World War One. Before moving into the discussion, let us now observe the image of global conflict timeline for a few seconds. Let us now move to our main topic, World War One. What is World War One? World War One, also called the Great War, it began on 28 July 1914 and ended on 11 November 1918. World War One was mainly fought between two groups. The first group was the Allied Power, which included Britain, France, and Russia. Later, the United States also joined the Allies in 1917. The second group was the Central Power, mainly Germany, Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria. The provided map is the location of the Central Park and the Allied Park in Europe. The pink color indicate or refer to the Central Park, which consists of Germany, Austria-Hungary, Ottoman Empire, and the green color indicate the Allied Park, which consists of Russia, France, Great Britain, and United Kingdom. Let us now talk about the causes of the World War One. There was not one single cause. Several developments slowly created tension among European countries. First was Germany's growing power. After Wilhelm II became German emperor in 1890, Germany wanted to become a major world power. Germany increased its military and international influence. Other European countries became worried about Germany's growing strength. Second was the system of alliances. European countries made agreement with one another, promising to support each other in case of war. So, if one country went to war, its allies could also become involved. This turned a small conflict into a much bigger European war. Third was imperialism. European countries were competing to control territories, especially in Africa and Asia, because these areas provided raw materials and new markets. This competition increased rivalry between the European powers. Fourth was militarism. Countries started building bigger armies and more powerful weapons. Britain and Germany, especially, completed to build strong navies. As countries became more heavily armed, the possibility of war became greater. There was also nationalism. Different national groups wanted independence or wanted their own nation to control their territories. This was especially strong in the Balkan region. Let us now talk about the immediate cause. What actually started the war? The immediate cause was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary. In June 1914, Franz Ferdinand was visiting Sarajevo in Bosnia. He was assassinated by a Serbian nationalist who believed that Bosnia should be controlled by Serbia. Austria-Hungary became angry and declared war on Serbia. Then the alliance system came into action. Russia supported Serbia, so Germany declared war on Russia. Germany also declared war on France. When Germany invaded Belgium to attack France, Britain entered the war. Let us now remember the change. First, assassination of Franz Ferdinand took place, then Austria-Hungary attacked Serbia, then Russia supported Serbia, which led to Germany's support Austria-Hungary, and then France and Britain became involved. Thus, European conflict became World War One. Okay. How was the war fought? The war was fought mainly on two important fronts. The Western Front was where Germany fought against Britain and France. After the German advance was stopped, soldiers began fighting from trenches. This became a long and extremely dangerous trench war. The Eastern Front was mainly between Germany and Austria-Hungary on one side and Russia on the other. The war was very destructive. Millions of soldiers were killed or wounded. New weapons and technology made the fighting even more deadly. In 1917, two important things happened. First, the United States entered the war on one side of the Allies. Second, the Russian Revolution took place and Russia eventually withdrew from the war. Finally, Germany and its allies became too weak to continue. Germany agreed an armistice and the fighting ended on 11 November 1918. Let us kindly remember, during World War One, Russia faced poverty, food shortages, military losses, and political problems. So in 1917, the Russian Revolution took place and the Bolshevik, led by Vladimir Lenin, came to power and established a communist government. As Russia was exhausted by the war, Lenin decided to withdraw from World War One and signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with Germany in 1918. Later, in 1922, the Soviet Union (USSR) was formed. The USSR would later become one of the two major superpowers during the Cold War. Let us talk about the consequences of World War One. The war had enormous consequences. Economically, the war cost countries huge amount of money. Government borrowed money, increased taxes, and printed more money. This contributed to inflation and economic problems after the war. Politically, several old monarchies collapsed. The German, Russia, Austria-Hungarian, and Ottoman Empire were greatly changed or ended. Socially, millions of young men died or were wounded. Many families lost father and sons. There were also millions of widows and orphans. The war also changed the position of women. Since many men were fighting, women started working in factories, offices, and other areas that had previously been dominated by men. This helped strengthen the demand for women's rights and voting rights. Let us now talk about the Treaty of Versailles. After the war, the victorious Allied countries made a peace treaty with Germany in 1919. But the treaty was very harsh towards Germany. Germany lost important territories. For example, Alsace and Lorraine were returned to France. Germany also lost its colonies. Most importantly, Germany was made responsible for the loss and damage caused by the war and was required to pay war reparation. Germany also had to accept restriction on its military. Point to be noted, the Treaty of Versailles punished Germany very heavily. This created anger and humiliation among many Germans and later contributed to conditions that helped the rise of World War II. Lastly, let's talk about India and World War One. India was under British rule during World War One. India played an important role in helping Britain and the Allies. Indian soldiers fought in different parts of the world, including France, Belgium, East Africa, Mesopotamia, and the Middle East. India also provided money, food supply, and other resources. The British had promised that India would receive greater self-rule after helping Britain in the war. However, this promise was not properly fulfilled. This created disappointment among Indians and contributed to the growth of the Indian national movement. Thank you everyone. Let us meet in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.